To introduce myself, this is Anishetty Ashish. So I have secured All India rank 676, and today I'm here at Abhiram Academy to teach you guys about some of the basics which are required in answer writing, particularly be it for the APPSC or Telangana Group 1 Services Mains or the UPSC Mains. So how many of you have given the pre this year, which happened very recently? Only one. So most of you are like the foundation batch students, I think. We all, how many of you are attempting for the first time? Attempt how many of you are there like that? Okay. So some people have given a break in their attempts. I can see the number clearly. There is a diminished number in the raising of hands. Okay. So where do we start? Do we start with, as we all know, in any preliminary stage of the exam, be it the groups or be it the UPSC, I think prelims has something to do with some part of our luck also. I always believe that in prelims, because for example, in questions where you are eliminating two options, you are choosing between the other two options. So any of the either might get correct or it might get you wrong. So that is some part of the luck which is involved in taking a logical guess while attempting the preliminary paper, as we all know. But it is, so I feel it's still 90%, 70 to 80% in your hands, the preliminary stage of the exam, but still it requires some luck to throw you to the second stage of the exam. But coming to the mains exam, why is it so important? Why answer writing is very important and writing answers is so important? Because in any stage, for any exam, the marks which are calculated is the mains part which is calculated, and you are given some rank or some position based on what you score in the mains exam, not in your preliminary exam. And the mains, the good thing with mains exam is there is no fixed answer to every question. There is a logical blueprint which is given for the UPSC evaluators to just correct. It's a basic blueprint, but it's not the final answer. Some can interpret in a different way and other person can interpret in a different way. That is the good thing with mains. So there is no perfect answer for any mains question that you are attempting or you are writing. So what do you all need to do? You have to make sure that you are writing something. Edo okati, I am trying to attempt the question, and you have to put some basic knowledge into that question. In any mains exam, for example, in the UPSC, if you take, there are 7 papers, which 250 marks each, which gives a cumulative score of 1750 marks. So 90%, almost 80% of the score, that is of the 2025 marks, is evaluated for every candidate. 1750 is for mains and 275 is for interview. So 80% of your skill is evaluated on what answers are you writing. On your main score only you are evaluated and you are given some good position. So what is in your hands is you can write good answers. Adi mana chetilo undi. But prelims exam is still not in our hands. You need some element of human luck always. It's required to make that 5 questions correct which throw you above the cutoff. But mains is always in your hands and you can change it and you can define it. So that is the best part of answer writing. The highest efforts should be put on the mains part of the examination or the answer writing so that you can score well. And despite whatever happens during your interview, which is also some, it depends on the mood of the day or depends on the happenings of you on that UPSC interview day. I had a very bad interview day, but despite it, I had a very good main score. So I was able to qualify with UPSC. So మీ అందరి మోటివేషన్ కూడా you all also should be motivated in such a manner that I will clear this exam only during the main stage. If you take even the APPSC group 1 also, it is I think the Telangana group 1 has 6 papers for 150 marks each for 900 marks. It doesn't have even interview also. Even if you take that exam or this exam, the maximum marks, that is for an all India topper rank 1 to get is half of the score. For 2000 you need to score around 1000. That is an all India topper. All India rank 1 score వచ్చేసి 1000. So we all need to understand one thing, that ఇప్పుడు 1000 మార్క్స్ టాపర్కే వస్తున్నాయంటే యూ ఆల్ నీడ్ టు స్కోర్ హాఫ్ మార్క్సే మనం స్కోర్ చేయాల్సింది ఎగ్జామ్లో. సో యూ ఆల్ నీడ్ టు బి మోటివేటెడ్ దట్ మనం హాఫే రాయాల్సిందే అని. హాఫే మనం వీఆర్ ఆల్ కంపీటింగ్ ఫర్ స్కోరింగ్ దట్ హాఫ్ మార్క్స్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్. ఆ 1000 మార్క్స్ కంప్లీట్ చేయడానికి వీఆర్ ఆల్ ఇన్ ద కాంపిటీషన్. వెన్ ఇట్ కమ్స్ టు ఆన్సర్ రైటింగ్, యూ హ్యావ్ టు స్టార్ట్ విత్ బేసిక్స్. మనం అందరం ఫస్ట్ ఆన్సర్స్ ఎప్పుడు రాయడం స్టార్ట్ చేసినాం? వీ ఆల్ స్టార్టెడ్ రైటింగ్ ఆన్సర్స్ డ్యూరింగ్ అవర్ 5th or 6th standard, I believe. Writing that passage questions, or writing that looking at the passage and English grammar. I believe English grammar law, we used to look at the passages and write the same lines of the passage. That's how we are practice or given practice to start answer writing during our school stage. When it comes to UPSC exam or the mains level of exam, all it requires, I always say for the candidates, that quantity is always important than quality. Quantity plays like 70% role in your answers. If 10 questions are given, you have to write the 10 questions. That is the first part any mains aspirant should do. The second thing is quality also plays a role, but it has a minimal role as compared with quantity. ఏ ఎగ్జామ్ అయినా మనం తీసుకుంటే, if 2 of us are writing the exam, how does the evaluator start? Because we are already competent enough that మనం preliminary stage clear చేసి we have gone to the mains level of the exam. So how will already you are qualified enough, నీ దగ్గర you have enough talent. మరి evaluator ki how he should judge us? The first thing is he will look at is whether you are finishing the paper or attempting all the questions or not. ప్రతి క్వశ్చన్కి ఒక 10 మార్కర్ తీసుకుంటే the maximum award that is given is 5 marks. If you are writing exceptionally too much, you will give 6, but 6 is the maximum. So for every question, half marks is highest again. అదే లాజిక్ మనం అర్థం చేసుకోలేకపోతున్నాం. There are 6 lakh candidates who are appearing for pre, and it is screened out to 12,000 to 13,000 candidates. So 5,88,000 are removed already. ఇంతమందిని దాటుకొని we have already come to the main stage. ఈ 12,000 to 13,000లో half of the people don't finish the paper. Half of the people who are writing mains, they will leave either one question or half question or 2 questions or 3 questions. Atla they cannot manage the time in the exam and వదిలేస్తారు. అది that is the biggest mistake every mains aspirant does. ఆ ఆన్సర్ వదిలేస్తే ఆటోమేటికలీ యు ఆర్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ 6,000. నీ ఫస్ట్ క్రైటీరియా ఏంటి? ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ అటెంప్టింగ్ ఆల్ ద క్వశ్చన్స్, యు ఆర్ ఆటోమేటికలీ ఇన్ ద అప్పర్ 6,000. ఆ అప్పర్ 6,000లో యు ఆర్ ఆల్రెడీ దేర్. అప్పర్ 6,000లో 3,000 పీపుల్ ఆర్ ఆల్రెడీ క్వాలిఫైయింగ్ ఫర్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ. అంటే 1:2 రేషియోలో యూ విల్ గెట్ క్వాలిఫైడ్ ఫర్ ద ఇంటర్వ్యూ. సో మీరు ఇంకొక పర్సన్నే మీరు డిఫీట్ చేస్తే యూ విల్ గో టు ద ఇంటర్వ్యూ. దట్ ఈస్ ద లాజిక్. We all run behind numbers and a huge number చూస్తాం కానీ it's out. అది preliminary stage వరకే, it's over. From mains, it's all about your perseverance, your patience to write more answers and write qualitative as well as quantitative answers at the same time. That is your skill. ఆ స్కిల్ అనేది మీ చేతిలో ఉంది. You can write good answers only with good practice. మీరు రిపీటెడ్ ప్రాక్టీస్ తోటి రిపీటెడ్గా చేస్తూ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తే యూ కెన్ డూ ఇట్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, ఇఫ్ యూ టేక్ ఎనీ క్వశ్చన్ లైక్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ దెర్ ఇస్ ఎ క్వశ్చన్ కమింగ్ ఆన్ ఆర్ట్ అండ్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ ఆఫ్ కాకతీయాస్ అని క్వశ్చన్ వచ్చింది ఎగ్జామ్లో. వి ఆల్ సమ్ ఆఫ్ అస్ ఆర్ ఫ్రమ్ తెలంగాణ, సమ్ ఆఫ్ అస్ మైట్ బి ఫ్రమ్ వరంగల్. వరంగల్లో ఉన్న వాళ్ళకి దే మైట్ నో 2-3 words extra about Kakatiya's art and architecture, like they are more deep and they visit frequently the temples constructed by Kakatiyas, they can write a better answer. But what you should do, నీకు అవగాహన లేనప్పుడు how to write a mediocre answer is everyone's question. ఇప్పుడు ఆర్ట్ అండ్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ ఆఫ్ కాకతీయస్ వచ్చింది, ఆల్ వి నో ఇస్ 1000 pillar temple and వరంగల్ ఫోర్ట్ అనేది మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ దీస్ ఆర్ కామన్ థింగ్స్ ఎవ్రీ aspirant knows about the Kakatiya's architecture. Ramappa temple is also there. So ఈ నేమ్స్ మనం చెప్పగలుగుతాం, బట్ హౌ ఈ 3 words ని హౌ విల్ యూ జస్టిఫై ఇన్ అ 2-page ఆన్సర్? ఒక 10 marker ఇస్తే యూ హ్యావ్ టు ఫిల్ 2 pages. ఎట్లా ఫిల్ చేస్తాం మనం ఈ 2 pages? యూ హ్యావ్ టు మేక్ ష్యూర్ దట్ యు ఆర్ యూజింగ్ సమ్ కీవర్డ్స్ ఆర్ కీ టెంప్లెట్స్ యూజ్ చేసి మనం మొత్తం ఆన్సర్ని వీఆర్ మేకింగ్ షూర్ దట్ ఎవ్రీ పార్ట్ ఈస్ కవర్డ్, ఎవ్రీ ఆస్పెక్ట్ కవర్ అవుతుంది. ఆర్ట్ అండ్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ ఇన్వాల్వ్స్ a lot of concepts. It includes the pottery, it includes the public places which are built, it includes the temples which are built, it includes the walls, forts, structures which are built by any kingdom. Art and architecture that all gets covered. So manam ipudu in India there are around 1000 kingdoms, up to 1000 to 1500 kingdoms which have ruled over many centuries. We cannot remember what everyone has done. Kani what we can remember, everyone has built temples in common, everyone has built public places in common, everyone has built huge structures or palaces for kings. Ivanni any king, ఏ కింగ్ అయినా బిల్డ్ చేస్తాడు కదా ఇవన్నీ. దట్స్ వాట్ ఈ కామన్ థింగ్ అయితే మనకు వి ఆల్ డూ నో. సో హౌ టు మేక్ దిస్ ఆన్సర్ ఇన్ అ జస్టిఫైడ్ మేనర్? మనం 3 examples తీసుకొని కాదు, వీ హ్యావ్ టు మేక్ షూర్ దట్ వీఆర్ కవరింగ్ అట్లీస్ట్ 5 to 6 points ఫర్ అ 10 marker. ఒక 5 to 6 separate పాయింట్స్ రాసి ఈ 3 examples ఏవైతే మన వరంగల్ ఫోర్ట్ ఉందో, వరంగల్ ఫోర్ట్ మనం ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్గా పెట్టాలనుకున్నాం కాకతీయలో, దెన్ వాట్ వీ షుడ్ డూ? వరంగల్ ఫోర్ట్ని we can explain that forts were forbidden for outsiders and built in such a way that they always excluded outsiders. Insiders ni కాపాడే విధంగా outsiders ni రానివ్వకుండా they were built with so much of technology. You can write this point and as an example you can quote Warangal Fort. So this makes a very decent point to write in the mains question. You can make the other thing is 1000 pillar temple. Why kings have commemorated temples? Why they have built these huge temples to show that the people that we are built of grandeur. మా రాజ్యంలో ఇంత గ్రాండియర్ ఉంది, we are ruling people with immense mandate. ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఎలక్షన్లో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ దర్ ఇస్ a CM who is coming with 150 seats అంటే that is he is coming with people's mandate. ఇప్పుడు in a democracy we see how many MLAs నెంబర్ తోటి మ్యాండేట్ ఉంటే వి సీ దట్ మచ్ ఫార్మిడబుల్ చీఫ్ మినిస్టర్. ఆ రోజులలో వీ సా కింగ్స్ విత్ దిస్ టెంపుల్స్ అండ్ దిస్ ప్లేసెస్ విచ్ వర్ బిల్ట్. అంత హ్యూజ్గా బిల్డ్ చేస్తే ఎస్ ఐ హ్యావ్ ద పీపుల్స్ మ్యాండేట్ అని ఆ కింగ్ హ్యాస్ ప్రూవెన్ ఇట్. ఆ కింగ్ అట్లా ప్రూవ్ చేసుకునేది త్రూ దీస్ హ్యూజ్ అండ్ గ్రాండ్ స్ట్రక్చర్స్. అట్లా చేసి దే హ్యావ్ ప్రూవెన్ దేర్ క్రెడిబిలిటీ. నేను కింగ్, ఐఎమ్ క్రెడిబుల్ ఎనఫ్ టు రూల్ దిస్ థింగ్. We all study the theory of divine theory of kinship. For example, in the Delhi Sultanate times, which has started during the Balban and which has continued in some of the kings like Aurangzeb Guda, they have established that we are equal to God. The divine theory of kinship ane Devudu nannu rajuga chesina, they always proclaim we are next to God ani they always believe that we are making people reach God. నేనే ఉన్న మధ్యలో అని they always wanted to show I am next to God. That is the divine theory of kinship we all study in our history. Everything you have to show is you can write decent answers. కానీ ఇప్పుడు in mains exam there are 50 pages. You have to fill it in 3 hours. So if you calculate the time being 3.5 minutes per side you have to fill. That is the logic, and it hardly you have to write around 100 to 120 words per page. So the best thing you can do is, the best and good thing for everyone to do is write answer for every question. Attempting every question is of prime importance in every mains exam or in every mains paper. మీరు ఇఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ పాస్డ్ అవుట్ 5,88,000 క్యాండిడేట్స్ దాటుకొని వచ్చిండ్రు, డూ యూ ఆల్ బిలీవ్ దట్ మీకు ఒక ఏదన్నా వాడు అడిగిన ఏదో ఒక క్వశ్చన్కి మీ దగ్గర ఒక బేసిక్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ లేదని మీరు నమ్ముతుండ్రా? లైక్ మనకి ఏం తెలియదా ఆ ఆన్సర్ గురించి? కెన్ దర్ బి సమ్ క్వశ్చన్ హోమ్ వీ హ్యావ్ ఒకటో రెండో ఉండొచ్చు, బట్ స్టిల్ యూ కెన్ రైట్ సంథింగ్ విచ్ యూ హ్యావ్ నాలెడ్జ్ అపాన్ దట్ క్వశ్చన్ విచ్ ఈస్ బీయింగ్ ఆస్డ్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, there is the question of Chandela, I think, which was asked. Eraser idena ma'am? Okay. Yeah. Got it. There was a question which was asked, I think. The sculptors filled the Chandela art form with resilient vigor and breadth of life. Elucidate. I have attempted this question in the exam also. What do you know? Like someone tell like what Chandela kingdom has done? Chandela kingdom, ekkadundi? Chandela kingdom, from where it has come? Anyone has got idea? Don't worry, I also did not know when I was attempting the mains exam. So basically the question that was asked, it was regarding the contributions made by Chandala kings during their rule in the art and architecture of that era. All I remember was Kandarya Mahadeva temple. One temple I have remembered during that built by the Chandelas, and I remember you can write Chandelas. What was the, for any temple you can know that there are three types of temple structures: the Nagara style, Vesara style, and the Southern style, which is followed. Those are the three things. So you can simply put that it is a northern kingdom. Obviously, they follow the Vesara style of architecture. You can still put that point. It still gives the impression to the evaluator that yes, he has an idea that at least this kingdom, ఈ కింగ్డమ్ ఉన్నదని ఈ ఎగ్జామ్ రాసిన అబ్బాయికి తెలుసా అని ఇట్ గివ్స్ అన్ ఇంప్రెషన్ టు ద ఎవాల్యుయేటర్. ఈ 20 క్వశ్చన్స్ లో no one can write 20 exceptional answers to all the questions that are given. 20 perfect answers ఏ candidate would write. Even all India rank 1 also cannot write every he might be a topper in one of the paper. I scored all India rank 1 2 papers లో నేను ఎక్కువ స్కోర్ చేసిన. It doesn't mean I have more knowledge. It only means that ఆ moment ఆ పేపర్ లో I excelled better than him, I performed better than him అన్న ఉద్దేశం అంతే. This is not a running cat race to see who is having good knowledge. ఇక్కడ మనం అందరం ఎందుకు కూర్చున్నాం ఈరోజు? why are we sitting? Are we sitting here to gain knowledge? Are we sitting here to gain knowledge? మనం knowledge gain చేయాలంటే we can go to some university and do some course like BTech or BA or MA or MTech or some course we can do, and we can gain knowledge over there. But we are all here to only clear the exam and somehow find our name in that list which is coming. అంతే కదా? Is it practical or not? మనం knowledge gain చేయడానికి are we sitting here? What do we do by gaining knowledge? We all need to do smart work as well to clear this much exam, which requires humongous level of competence on the exam low. There are 6 lakh people competing. Yes, there is competition. If you want to be among the best 1000 in this country, you have to make sure that there is hard work plus smart work also. Hard work only doesn't take you to that list. It also needs some sort of knack or some sort of smart work which will help you clear the exam. ఎప్పుడైనా ఆల్వేస్ బిలీవ్, నో వన్ షుడ్ ఆల్వేస్, ఎవరైనా టీచర్ చెప్తే మీరు నాలెడ్జ్ గెయిన్ చేయడానికి ఇక్కడ వచ్చారంటే దట్ ఈస్ ద బిగ్గెస్ట్ మిత్. డోంట్ బిలీవ్ దెమ్. మీరు దిస్ నాలెడ్జ్ ఈస్ దేర్. ఎస్, నాలెడ్జ్ హెల్ప్స్ యూ టు help or contribute to your hard work in the exam, but we all need that smart work also, which makes you clear the line and throws you into the list. That is very important. So if we start with GS1 itself, I think. Do you guys, or should we discuss the essay first, or should we start with GS1? How should we do it? Essay? Yeah, essay. We'll start with the essay only then. So I think I'll read out the essay paper myself. I'm carrying it. So, ma'am, please ask them to show it on the. I think you're comfortable, right? If I read the question on the essay, there's no need to display it. So section A, the first essay that was asked is truth knows no color. Truth knows no color. This is all that is asked, and you have to write an essay which is around 1000 to 1200 words. The second thing that is asked is the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Thoughts, the third one that is asked, thought finds a world and creates one also. Thought finds a world and create one also. Fourth one is the best lessons are learned through bitter experiences. I think this. Yeah. So, ఈ 4 essays వచ్చినాయి. So, think of yourself as you are attempting the exam. How many of you will attempt the first question? Truth knows no color. Truth knows no color. You want to attempt the first question. How many of you are attempting the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting? How many of you are attempting this question? You are attempting. Okay, there is only one each. Thought finds a world and create one also. This one only. So మీరందరూ essay వదిలేస్తుందా? Oh, you want to write the fourth one? Best lessons are learned through bitter experiences. How many of you want to attempt it? The rest of the class. I think most of you are. So, one thing with essay is starting. There is a theory. ఇప్పుడు మన ఎస్ఏకి there is a better time as considered with all the other papers, because you have to write only 12 that is around 24 sides of the paper. You have to write, అంటే మనం 50 pages దాంట్లో we are writing only half. ఆ లక్కీ విషయంలో ఎస్ఏని కంప్లీట్ చేసే దాంట్లో we are safe. We can somehow finish it easily as compared with the other GS papers. The best essays are decided only in the first 15 minutes. Essay first ఈ section మనం ఫస్ట్ చూసాక we will decide that I am writing this and I am writing that, and then you have to make a chart of how you are going to attempt this essay. That is the most important thing before starting to write an essay. ఎందుకంటే before starting to write an essay, you have to know how are you going to start the introduction, how are you going to address the body, and how are you going to address the negative tone of that thing, and then you have to give a proper conclusion. 10 pages unte at least you have to write 12 to 15 points which you can put mandatorily into the essay, because మనం ఒక essay రాయడం స్టార్ట్ చేసినాం, మనం రాసే ముందు స్టార్ట్ చేసే పాయింట్స్ మనం రాసేటప్పుడు గుర్తురావు. That is the most important problem every aspirant faces while writing an essay. So in the first 15 minutes, if you do a good analysis of how to write an essay, ఒక చాట్ వేసుకొని just we write, scribble down 15 to 16 points regarding that essay, your job is half done. నువ్వేం చేయొద్దు ఇంకా. నెక్స్ట్ essay రాయడం స్టార్ట్ చేసి you can just look at it and write it, look at it and write it, look at it and write it. How simple it is to write an essay. అదే ఇప్పుడు మేము we have decided writing this without the చార్ట్ వేసుకోకుండా మనం ఈ essay రాయడం స్టార్ట్ చేసినాం. How will you realize? ఫస్ట్ మనకు చాలా పాయింట్స్ గుర్తుకొస్తాయి, because our mind is fresh as we go to the exam, but as the time ticks down, we'll slowly start forgetting things. So it's very important that you note down and make a chart or make a like simple flow chart kind of thing at the extra answer. మనకి లాస్ట్లో they will give a rough sheet. దాంట్లో you can make a framework of how to write this essay or attempt this essay, and you can put that 15 to 20 points which you're not going to miss no matter what. because those are the best points which you have remembered on seeing the first question or the question which you are attempt. ఆ క్వశ్చన్ చూసినప్పుడు నీకు ఫస్ట్ గుర్తుకొచ్చిన 15 పాయింట్స్ అవి. సో you should make sure that you are not missing those important points in the essay. Best lessons are learned through bitter experiences. As most of you want to write that essay, I don't want to choose that essay. I want to choose a different one. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. This is a wonderful essay. You can write like if you can really make justice to one essay, marks gurinchi kaakunda, this question is the one to be chosen for. Ante what did can someone of you explain evarkana who wanted to attempt this essay? The second one, you wanted to attempt. So what did you understand from this statement? The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Yeah, so that's the thing. So violence is not how you win the war, it is through persuasion and it is through debates, dialogues and discussions that you can win the war in a better manner. That's how అంటే దాంట్లో how deep logic is. ఒక పర్సన్ తోటి we all can fight. It is not the king's time now. ఇప్పుడున్న current situation, if you take the global scenario also which is happening, it should be a wonderful example that the war between US and Iran, how is it turning out to? The war is to the happenings which are happening on the military level, all the violence which is happening is very small. ఇంతమంది చనిపోతున్నారు అటు సైడ్ ఇటు సైడ్, no one knows. మనకందరికి we are having less impact on that, but the bigger impact where we are facing it on the economic side. We are facing it on the people to people contacts which are being stopped between countries. Travel లో మనం ఈ కంట్రీస్ నుంచి ఆ కంట్రీకి పోతుంటే how are we facing the travel restrictions these days? ఈ వార్ వల్ల so many people are feared. భయం అవుతుంది అందరికి. మిడిల్ ఈస్ట్ లో the tourism has come down at a substantial level. How the war is affecting any, you can write wonderful examples regarding that thing. And you can, I would have written the example of some king also. ఈ రక్షాబంధన్ రావడానికి some female queen has requested some king to not kill his husband and Rakhi అట్లా వచ్చిందని మనం రాసినాం. So you can, that's a wonderful example. Okay essay. Yeah, you want a question? Can you come, friend? I think it's not audible. There are lots of seats, I think. Yeah. According to? Okay. Yeah. I got it. Yeah, I'll come to the body part. You are asking me the body part when it comes to the explanation. So you can give a good anecdote here on the always UPSC has been going into too much of philosophical essays these days, as we are seeing from the last 2016. If you observe the question paper, there are no questions which are asked on technical aspect, and the pestle analysis which was there, it's gone now. It's not there. The sooner the aspirants realize it, it's better for every aspirant. ఇంతకుముందు ఒక ఎస్ఏ వస్తే ఎఫెక్ట్స్ ఆన్ సోషల్ మీడియా, ఎఫెక్ట్ ఆన్ ఉమెన్స్ లైఫ్స్ ఇలాంటివి వచ్చేవి. ఇట్స్ గాన్. అది లేదు. దట్ ఈస్ అ మిత్ నౌ. సో యూ ఆల్ నీడ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ వై ethics essay is more aligned with ethics these days, because ethics paper okati chavute you can write a wonderful essay. That's what I believe, and that's how I have written, and I have scored like 118 in my essay, which is a very good score. So for any essay to start with, you can use an story, you can use an anecdote, or you can use a basic introduction you can give about starting two characters తో ఒక స్టోరీ క్రియేట్ చేసి దాన్ని
start చేసినట్టు you can start your introduction. Introduction is the first page. On the last 2 lines of the first page, you have to start entering into the body part. You have to start explaining this statement. So the first thing is the first part is the introduction. Oka story aina, oka anecdote aina, or some incident. It's better that you use out of the box methods to start your introduction and make it look innovative for the evaluator. Evaluator should always think, okay, there is some story or anecdote which is starting ani starting introduction, it should look like that. At the how, and you might ask me, how should we write an anecdote, as I don't know anything. Random ga, if you are reading normal newspapers, you can quote anything. You can, for example, you can use Virat Kohli's a way of answering his critics with the bat, not with the mouth. Adi kuda, that is a way of winning your opponent, not with your word or not by countering him. That is another ఇప్పుడు ఈ supreme art of the work that అన్న చెప్పింది ఏమంటే, లైక్ he has said, ఆ బుక్ somehow some person has written it, even I don't know till now. ఆ person has written it, you don't need to know. అది తెలుస్తేనే ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఎస్ఎస్ అన్ని దే హ్యావ్ గివెన్ ఫ్రమ్ సమ్వేర్, ఎక్కడనో ఏదో లెసన్. దే హ్యావ్ ఆస్క్డ్ దిస్ ఎస్సేస్ ఫ్రమ్ ద లైన్స్ ఆఫ్ ఎథిక్స్ పేపర్స్. ఎథిక్స్ లో ఉండే 10 మార్కర్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ప్రీవియస్ ఇయర్స్ నుంచి దే హ్యావ్ ఆస్క్డ్ సమ్ క్వశ్చన్ ఆన్ ఎస్సే. దే ఆర్ ఆస్క్డ్, అది 10 మార్కర్ క్వశ్చన్ 2 pages రాస్తే దే ఆర్ ఆస్కింగ్ us to write in 1000 to 1200 words. So it doesn't matter if you know where the statement is coming from or not. It doesn't create. How are you perceiving? What is your understanding about that statement is enough ante. And you have to justify that statement. నేను ఇట్లా ఆలోచించుకున్నానని you have to give good example and justify it that I am capable of writing a good answer to what I think. దీన్ని నేను ఎట్లా ఇంటర్ప్రిట్ చేస్తున్నాను దానికి ఒక మంచి ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇస్తే ఎవాల్యుయేటర్ కూడా అర్థమవుతుంది. యూ డోంట్ నీడ్ టు రీడ్ దట్ బుక్. ఆ బుక్ చదివితేనే వాడు రాసిండు ఇట్లా, ఆయన ఇంటర్ప్రిటేషన్ ఇట్లనే అని చెప్తే యూ డోంట్ నీడ్ దట్ థింగ్. వీ ఆల్ డోంట్ నో ఫ్రమ్ వేర్ దీస్ 8 questions of the essay are asked. We all don't know genuinely. How many people do know all these things? Even philosophy, people who have done masters in philosophy also don't know all these statements where they are coming from. The thing is, you have to justify your view. What is your view regarding this statement with good examples, and make sure that the examples are suitable to the argument you are giving or you are presenting in the paper to the evaluator. Everyone is comfortable in English, right? Yeah. Yeah. So before starting an essay, you can take, like, before starting ante, like, obviously you have to write something about something that is being asked. You have to write something about that. You can choose any one essay, you can start writing. Then you will get an understanding of whether I can finish the essay or whether I can give my articulated views upon it. The number of views you have on a thing, ఇప్పుడు దీని గురించి నీ దగ్గర ఎన్ని మల్టిపుల్ వ్యూస్ ఉంటే యూ కెన్ రైట్ అ మోర్ జస్టిఫైడ్ ఎస్సే. If you are having less views about thing and you cannot able to justify it, your essay is not up to the mark. నీకు ఆ ఎస్సే ఆ బాడీలో నువ్వు రాసేటప్పుడు how many different angles you can look upon that statement will make it a perfect essay. How many, నీకు ఎంత డిఫరెంట్ యాంగిల్ ఉండి డిఫరెంట్ విధాలుగా నువ్వు అర్థం చేసుకొని దాన్ని ఎగ్జామినర్కి ప్రూవ్ చేస్తావు, దట్స్ హౌ యూ షుడ్ చూజ్ అన్ ఎస్సే. ద మోర్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూ పాయింట్స్ యూ గివ్, దట్ విల్ గివ్ యూ మోర్ marks in the essay paper. That's how it is evaluated. I mean, I also did not evaluate. We are all going with the toppers impressions or whatever we call it. So introduction, you can start like that with an anecdote, with a story. That's how all people are doing it. That's how evaluator reads. ఒక స్టోరీ చదివినప్పుడు మనకు కూడా కొత్తగా అనిపిస్తుంది ఎవాల్యుయేట్ చేసేటప్పుడు, రాదర్ దాన్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇప్పుడు ఆర్ట్ ఆఫ్ వార్ ఇచ్చిండ్రు, ఈజ్ టు సబ్డ్యూ ద ఎనిమీ వితౌట్ ఫైటింగ్ అంటే మనం ఇంట్రడక్షన్ లో టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ వార్ ఇన్ని ఉన్నాయని మనం రాయలేం కదా. హౌ it looks I mean it makes so much injustice to the essay that is being asked. Rather than oka manchi anecdote isse, it will make the evaluator also happy. Everything okati gurtu pettukondi, it all depends on the evaluator's mood.
If you win his heart, you are winning the exam. That's how it is functioning. That's how we should accept this exam as. Yes, there are some things which are out of our hands. We are writing good answers, but we don't know what makes him happy. So we all should try to make him happy. That's it. That's what I believe in. I might there might be difference of opinion for few people with my argument, and I would love to hear it. There is no problem. The next మనం బాడీలోకి మూవ్ అవుతుంటే, సో యాజ్ ఐ హ్యావ్ సెడ్, మనం ఒక బాడీ గురించి ఈజీలీ యూ కెన్ మేక్ 5 to 6 examples, or you can write 7 to 8 examples also in the body. Your body becomes the explaining the statement in the body. That should become the second part of your essay. Body is your second part, but you should be pro for the statement. Aa statement ni nu support chestu you have to give examples and you have to justify the essay. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Ante how does if you can take it on an international level, accept this, you can compare the international relations, how India is giving treatment to Pakistan, even not on the ground but also on the bigger side of on the economy. If you take, we are trying to stop every trade that is happening for them, and we have already become a 5th largest economy or 6th largest economy, and we are 3rd in purchasing power parity. Both the countries have achieved independence at the same time, but still why we raced through it? Because we did not always believe in war. India always believes in always attack second. It is always second to attack, but the way we retaliate is higher. Nuclear security doctrine lo manam chadivinappudu we always believe, it always says India will never be the first one. First mem eppudu use cheyam. That is what our nuclear security doctrine also says, and you can write that. That's a wonderful explanation to this essay also. Ante we are winning the war already by just threatening. Second నా జోలికి వస్తే మాత్రం ఊరుకోనని we are making the other person know. అట్లా భయపెట్టి కూడా we are winning the war. Don't come to me or don't challenge me on the battleground. You will anyways lose. We are going into the mind of their whoever dictators or military people who the shit is ruling Pakistan these days. వాళ్ళకు మనం ముందే చెప్తున్నాం, don't come. So that is one technique of subduing the enemy. We are not fighting, we are just giving a threat. That is one view of seeing the question. The next thing is you can with the economy thing also, you can give the example of US, how despite having less population and because US is not a country which was indigenous to itself. అందరు ఒక చోటకు పోయి అక్కడ ఉంటే యుఎస్ అనేది తయారైంది. బట్ ద మోస్ట్ ఇప్పుడు ద మోస్ట్ డిస్క్రిమినేటెడ్ పీపుల్ ఇన్ యుఎస్ఏ ఆర్ ద ఒరిజినల్ రెడ్ ఇండియన్ క్లాన్ విచ్ ఈస్ బీయింగ్ నెగ్లెక్టెడ్ ఫర్ ఇయర్స్ ఓవర్ దేర్. ఈ యూకే నుంచి కొంతమంది మైగ్రేట్ అయ్యి దీస్ వైట్ పీపుల్ హ్యావ్ వెంట్ టు యుఎస్ అండ్ దే హ్యావ్ డిక్లేర్డ్ ఇండిపెండెన్స్ దేర్. వాళ్ళు దే ఆర్ డిక్టేటింగ్ ద ఎంటైర్ వరల్డ్ టుడే. They have ignored their own indigenous Red American Red Indians అనే creed ఏదైతుందో వాళ్ళని they have eliminated it. You can write that example also. How despite people coming from different areas వచ్చినా కానీ how they stop their differences among themselves and risen number one to the occasion. Be it you take military, be it economic, be it anything political or any stupid thing, they are always on the first thing. You can give an example of China as well. Why today China during independence ante Indian independence appudu China was very weak as compared with India. They were not even having their own system. Vallaku oka democratic system ledani it was being criticized, but still they have risen to power based on their economic prowess, and they have used their population, a demographic dividend ni they have used it on such a level that no country, anything that is happening today anywhere in the world, there is some Chinese involved in it. There is some Chinese fact.
I am today speaking on this mic. The parts of this mic are made somehow from the Chinese thing. We are all sitting on this huge decorum and these sheets, plywood sheets. Even those are being imported from China these days. Everywhere we see there is some China in it. We are all selling make in India అని మనం అంటున్నాం. Make in India అని అంటాం. మన Chinese if some border skirmishes happen between India and China, we always scold ki చైనా వస్తువులు మంచిగా అంటాం. బట్ వాళ్ళ వస్తువులు ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయంటే వాళ్ళని ఇగ్నోర్ చేయలేకపోతున్నాం మనం. No matter what you do, you cannot ignore their materials or products. We all after the Doklam, we all took a stand that we are not using Chinese exports. But till Doklam tarvata ippadi varaku kuda the beat on the economic number, our trade has only risen with China and the trade deficit is increasing still. That's how they are dominating this world. They are not dominating by war. They are dominating by their economic prowess and their demographic dividend. They are using it in a better way, which we are not able to. Here we are also having the population now that we have crossed China in population. We are not using that demographic dividend to strengthen India as an economic power. That is one wonderful example. And if you consider history, there are wonderful examples, as I have said. For example, in one page of the essay, you can write two examples, like first example ikkada raste, second example ikkada raste, you can finish the page justifying that argument, how they have won the war without using violence. So you can write your body in 3 to 4 pages, which requires around 5 to 6 examples kavali. 5 to 6 examples, so you can cover the body part arguing pro for this essay. ఆ ఎస్సేకి ప్రోగా ఆర్గ్యూ చేస్తూ యూ కెన్ రైట్ 3-4 pages in 5-6 examples. This is the second part of the essay. Bodyలో this was the first part. Bodyలో second part ఏంటిది? The antithesis of this essay which is being asked. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. అంటే ఫైట్ లేకుండానే ఇంతమంది యుద్ధాలు గెలిచిండ్రా? లేదు. With fighting and violence also people have proven their prowess అని you have to counter the argument that is being asked. How? You can again take the example of kings like Akbar. With their military expedition, they have made their kingdom so hardened that no one dares to put a finger on it. Aurangzeb ki ruling inta easy unde. We all know Aurangzeb was a very crude and orthodox king అని మనం అనుకుంటాం. కానీ అక్బర్ during the time of Akbar, తర్వాత I think it was Shah Jahan, right? Akbar, Shah Jahan and Jahangir, right? Akbar, Shah Jahan and Aurangzeb. During the time of Akbar itself, the administration was so designed in such a perfect manner that the coming kings, no matter what, just gullu kattukunna, temples kattukunna, ee monuments kattukunna, they were happy enough with that administrative system, with the system that he has built, be it the Mansabdari system or the land revenue, different types of land revenue systems he has made. And he atla cheyadam valla, how is it possible? Through his military expeditions only. He has done all over India's expedition చేసి he has won it for himself. వాడికే కాకుండా through his future generations also he has addressed. మీరు ఏం చేయకుండా మీరు జస్ట్ తాజ్ మహల్ ఇలాంటివి కట్టుకున్నా కానీ స్టిల్ ముఘల్ ఎంపైర్ ఈజ్ రిమెంబర్డ్ ఫర్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ఇట్ ఈస్. యాజ్ కంపేర్డ్ విత్ Akbar, Akbar has like a military campaigning of 40 years, 45 years of military campaign. He has entered the battlefield at the age of 12. The other kings did not do it. They were lavishing and doing whatever they want. Once okasar king ayinaka they were doing expeditions, but he did it through art of war only. And you can still give the example of for example, you can give the mention that one of the tribal revolts like guerrilla warfare against the British. How anta humongous British army, despite their superior navy and beautiful commanders, or the most commanding commanders evaraithe anta powerful unna gaani, they could not understand what is guerrilla warfare. They could not counter it. That's how they have subdued the enemy. Anta you can give the example of this Kesari movie which happened, where 19 people have stopped the entire British army which was coming. That will be a wonderful example. Yes, it was war. They have subdued the enemy for 2-3 days. ఆ 19 people they have stopped the enemy from coming. So these examples you can only pick it out from your real life or from philosophers or from good like freedom fighters నుంచి కూడా మనం ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ తీసుకోవచ్చు. You can take it from anyone and subdue the enemy without fighting. You can give the example of Buddha in the first argument, first part lo supporting, writing pro of it. You can tell him, you can tell them, the current rulers also came to Buddha, what should I do? Because we all read in that Ajatashatru has come to Buddha telling, should I go to war or not? And he did not do the war there. ఈ వార్ చేసే మనిషి కింగ్ వచ్చి ఈ బుద్ధానే అడుగుతుండు, నేను వార్ చేయాలన్నా వద్దా అని. హౌ మచ్ అంటే అవతల మనిషి దగ్గర ఎంత ప్రోగ్రెస్ ఉంటే ఒక కింగ్ నీ దగ్గరకు వచ్చి నేను వార్ చేయాలా వద్దా అని అడుగుతాను. దట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో వండర్ఫుల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. హౌ విల్ యూ లెర్న్ ఆల్ దీస్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ అంటే యూ హ్యావ్ టు రైట్ ఇట్. వితౌట్ రైటింగ్ యూ కెనాట్ ప్రూవ్ ఆర్ జస్టిఫై యువర్ ఎస్సే. దట్స్ హౌ ఇట్ హ్యాపెన్స్. దీస్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ అన్ని ఇట్లా నువ్వు రాస్తూ ఈ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ అన్ని ఎట్లా వస్తాయని యూ కెన్ ఆస్క్ మీ. యూ కెన్ జస్ట్ మనకు వచ్చిన థాట్స్ని వీ ఆల్ రైట్ ఇన్ అవర్ బుక్. అట్లా ఒక ఎస్సేస్ యూజ్ చేసినవి అన్ని యూ కెన్ రీడ్ ఇట్ ఫ్రమ్ ద టాపర్స్ కాపీస్. దట్ ఈస్ ద బెస్ట్ వే టు కలెక్ట్ ద ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్. టాపర్స్ కాపీస్ ఎస్సేస్ తీసుకోండి, దే రైట్ న్యూమరస్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్, 15 to 16 న్యూమరస్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ రాస్తారు ఒక ఎస్సేలో. మీరు ఇద్దరు ఆర్ ముగ్గురు టాపర్స్ కాపీస్ చదివితే యూ కెన్ గెట్ లైక్ 100 ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్. ఆల్ యూ నీడ్ టు డూ ఈస్ టేక్ దట్ ఎస్సేస్, రిపీటెడ్లీ డూ ఇట్, మిక్స్ అండ్ write it somehow that justifies the essay. We all know Buddha, but how to put Buddha in this thing? నేను చెప్పిన ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్ లెక్క మీరు ప్రూవ్ చేయగలిగితే యూ ఆర్ రైటింగ్ ద బెస్ట్ ఎస్సే. దట్స్ హౌ ఇట్ ఈస్. సో ద సెకండ్ పార్ట్ హ్యాస్ ద యాంటీథీసిస్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ క్వశ్చన్. అంటే ఇట్లనే జరుగుతే కాదు, పీపుల్ హ్యావ్ ఆల్సో వన్ విత్ వార్స్. పీపుల్ హ్యావ్ ఆల్సో షోన్ దట్ ఫైట్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో నెసెసరీ అండ్ in some cases war is also inevitable. For a nation like Pakistan, war is inevitable. You have to win them only by war sometimes. We are doing it on the economic front, but we have to do it on the battleground also. No matter what, when it comes to the sovereignty of the country, you have to use violence also when the time comes. That is what you have to write in the antithesis part. Antithesis part you can write around in 2 pages. So one ఇది ఒక 4 pages, 5 plus 2 అంటే ఇది 7 pages అవుతుంది. ఆల్మోస్ట్ లైక్ 7 to 8 pages are finished with your arguments. You can write the conclusion part explaining why this is very important and giving your own view. First వీళ్ళ pro view చూసినాం, తర్వాత we have given an anti view. Now you can give your view also. What is it? నేనేమనుకుంటున్నా యుద్ధాన్ని. If I am put, you can write what will you do? What is your real analysis about this essay? What can you do to make this statement true? What can you do to make this statement false? You can put your views like in 1 to 2 pages. Again, you can use examples over there also to substantiate your argument. మీ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్ ని సబ్స్టాన్షియేట్ చేసుకోవడానికి the only best way is to write examples. Examples రాసి yes ఈయన చెప్పిండు, he has proved it also, ఇట్లా by giving example అని the evaluator should know. Otherwise you are giving normal essays రాసేసి if you are not giving a good example to justify it makes no sense. There was All India Rank 2 Harshita ma'am in 2024. I think her essays are available on her Telegram channel only. She has scored 147 or 148 in her essay, one of the highest scores in essay. And if you read the essay, you will just feel like wow. And it is not having fancy words and fancy vocabulary and fancy stuff, but it is very meaningful. It has a lot of content through value additions made in that essay. That's how your essay also should be. It doesn't depend on how much examples kuda meer chaala ekkuva raaseyadu, because it's an essay. It's not a GS answer. You have to only write the example to substantiate your argument. You have to tell that, for example, మనం ఒక antithesis లో we are writing the wars are also not one only by subduing the enemy without fighting, but with also violence used అని చెప్పేసి you have to give the Pakistan side of the example also. That's how you should do it. చేసి దాన్ని ఎగ్జాంపుల్ రాయాలి. డోంట్ మేక్ మోర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ ఆల్సో. మొత్తం ఎస్ఏలో వీ హ్యావ్ టు యూజ్ ఓన్లీ 12 to 13 ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ హార్డ్లీ. ఒక 12 ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ యూజ్ చేస్తే దే ఆర్ మోర్ దాన్ ఎనఫ్. దట్స్ హౌ యూ షుడ్ రైట్ ద ఎస్ఏ. దట్స్ హౌ కంక్లూజన్ పార్ట్లో యూ షుడ్ కనెక్ట్ ద anecdote. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ సంథింగ్ విచ్ ఈస్ రిలేటెడ్, ఇప్పుడు బిటర్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఉంది, బిటర్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్సెస్ ద్వారా for example you can write Savitribai Phule's life as an experience, because she is always the woman with the second saree, that's what they used to call her. When she used to go to teach to these underprivileged kids and all, the upper caste people used to throw all the eggs and tomatoes thing on her to make her demotivated not to go and teach those people or the women. అప్పుడు దెన్ షీ ఫెల్ట్ వన్ డే వాళ్ళు ఎంత వేసినా ఐ విల్ క్యారీ దట్ శారీ, ఎక్స్ట్రా శారీ ఆల్సో, బట్ ఐ విల్ టీచ్. దట్ వాజ్ హర్ మోటివేషన్. Anecdote, you can start with the bitter experience she faced. You can, like, on a Sunday afternoon, a woman was seen walking on the road with a bag and 2 books in that. She was going on the road, and all of a sudden she was being harassed by few people, and start చేసి end లో you can tell she was so and so Savitribai Phule, and you can stop your introduction till there. In the conclusion, you try to connect Savitribai Phule again. You come back to her. You show the best lessons are learnt. She has made so many students across this country that till now she is revered for her excellent work in female education. She is the real change maker. Atla change తెచ్చిన సొసైటీలోనే you connect that anecdote with the conclusion. That will make the evaluator also, అంటే గుర్తు చేయాలి, నువ్వు నేను anecdote రాసిన కదా ఫస్ట్లో, మళ్ళీ నీకు మర్చిపోతావు అని మనం ఎవాల్యుయేటర్ చెప్పొద్దు. బాడీలో ఆల్సో యూ కెన్ కనెక్ట్ హిమ్. యూ కెన్ ట్రై టు యూజ్ దట్ థింగ్, anecdote ని కనెక్ట్ చేస్తూ యూ కెన్ రైట్ వన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ అగైన్ ఇన్ ద బాడీ, బట్ మేక్ షూర్ దట్ కన్క్లూజన్లో ఇఫ్ యూ కనెక్ట్ దట్ anecdote వాట్ యూ హ్యావ్ రిటర్న్ ఇన్ ద ఇంట్రడక్షన్ చేసి, so we all need women like Savitribai Phule who can make this world a better place to live, and who will always make sure that bitter experiences don't stop them for doing a good thing. ఈ ఒక మంచి తీసుకురావాలంటే నలుగురు చెడుని ఎప్పుడు పాస్ కావాలన్నది యూ హ్యావ్ టు షో దట్ ఐడియా టు ద ఎవాల్యుయేటర్. ఇప్పుడు ఇట్లా చూపెట్టినాక ఇంకా మార్క్స్ ఎందుకు వేయరు? డూ యూ బిలీవ్ దట్ దే వోంట్ గివ్ మార్క్స్ ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ ప్రెజెంటింగ్ యువర్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్ ఇన్ సచ్ ఎ మేనర్? సరే, దే మైట్ నాట్ గివ్ 100 ఫర్ 1 essay, బట్ అట్లీస్ట్ హాఫ్ అయితే ఇస్తారు కదా. 50 marks to 60 marks, it makes a very good decent essay you have written. So that's how you should write or approach the essay paper. And use all your ethics examples. ఒక 10 philosophers like Plato, Socrates కానీ Confucius కానీ, ఇదంతా వీళ్ళంతా you can make examples or use their examples to justify your body. You can use the freedom fighters, you can use the cricketers, you can use the athletes. ఎవరినైనా ఈ 100 ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్తో నువ్వు ఏ ఎస్సే అయినా నువ్వు రాయగలగాలి. దట్ ఈస్ ద ఆర్ట్ ఆఫ్ రైటింగ్ అన్ ఎస్సే. నో వన్ విల్ రిమెంబర్ 1000 ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్. ఆల్ విల్ స్టడీ దోస్ 100 ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ ఓన్లీ. బట్ హౌ మెటిక్యులస్లీ యూ యూజ్ ఇట్, దాన్ని ట్విస్ట్ చేసి ఈ ఎస్సేలు ఎట్లా ఫిట్ చేస్తావు ఆ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ అనేదే నీ చేతులు ఉంది. యూ షుడ్ నాట్ స్టడీ 1000 to 2000 ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ అనేది. యూ కెన్ రైట్ నథింగ్ ఇన్ ద ఎగ్జామ్. యూ వోంట్ రిమెంబర్ ఆల్ ద anecdotes of the personalities. ఒక 50-60 పర్సనాలిటీస్ ఆ స్టోరీస్ ఏదో చదువుకొని అది ఏ ఎస్సే వచ్చినా కానీ యూ హ్యావ్ టు ఫిట్ ఇన్ దట్ థింగ్. ఇఫ్ యూ ఫైండ్ ద థీమ్స్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్సో ఆఫ్ ద ఎస్సే, ఎవ్రీ ఇయర్ ఇట్లనే వస్తాయి. అంటే బెస్ట్ లెసన్స్ ఆర్ లెర్న్ త్రూ బిటర్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్సెస్ అని ఈసారి వచ్చింది కదా. ద సేమ్ థీమ్, ఆ సేమ్ థీమ్లోనే వస్తుంది. లైక్ బిటర్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్సెస్ ద్వారా బెస్ట్ లెసన్స్ వచ్చింది. నెక్స్ట్ టైం అంటారు న్యూ ఇన్వెన్షన్, ఎక్స్ప్లోరేషన్ ఈజ్ ద మదర్ ఆఫ్ నెసెసిటీ ఈజ్ ద మదర్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్. అది ఎస్సే ఉంది కదా సంభవం. నెసెసిటీ ఈజ్ ద మదర్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్వెన్షన్ అని ద ట్విస్ట్ ఇట్ అండ్ గివ్ ఇట్. సో ఈ నెసెసిటీ, ఇప్పుడు
మనం ఇక్కడ కూడా థామస్ అల్వా ఎడిసన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ రాయొచ్చు. 99 టైమ్స్ చేసిండు, 100 టైమ్ సక్సెస్ అయింది బల్బ్ అని. అక్కడ కూడా యూ కెన్ రైట్ దట్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. డిస్పైట్ ఫేసింగ్ 99 ఫెయిల్డ్ అటెంప్ట్స్, డిస్పైట్ 99 టైమ్స్ బిటర్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ వచ్చింది, కానీ 100th టైమ్ హీ మేడ్ ద బెస్ట్ లెసన్ వేర్ వీఆర్ స్టిల్ యూజింగ్ ద బల్బ్ అని ఇక్కడ రాయొచ్చు. వెన్ మళ్ళీ అక్కడ నెసెసిటీ ఇస్ ద మదర్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్వెన్షన్ అంటే నువ్వు ఏం రాయొచ్చు? He was studying something, he did not have the light, that's how he got the motivation to invent a light. That's how you should twist it. We cannot write new examples అంటే మనం సృష్టించి రాయలేము ఏదన్నా. దాన్నే బెటర్ టు టేక్ దట్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ అండ్ ట్విస్ట్ ఇట్ అండ్ యూజ్ ఇట్ హౌ ఇట్ ఫేవర్స్ ద ఎస్సే. దట్ ఈస్ యువర్ స్కిల్. That is the skill that is required in the essay paper. If you have any doubts regarding the essay paper, I will take it, or else we'll move to GS1.
You can ask any more doubts or how to approach different type or why to choose.
I always try to choose, pick that essay which is very unique. ఎవరు ఎక్కువ తీసుకోరో అది తీసుకుంటే you will have the advantage అని I believe, but UPSC does not care about all that. You write one decent good essay, that is what. నీకు దేనిమైనా ఎక్కువ పాయింట్స్ వస్తున్నాయని మేకింగ్ ద చార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఈ ఫస్ట్ 15 minutes ఈ ఫస్ట్ ఎస్సేకి, సెకండ్ 15 minutes సెకండ్ ఎస్సేకి తీసుకొని హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్లో యువర్ ఎస్సే పేపర్ ఈస్ ఫినిష్డ్. ఆ ఫస్ట్ హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్లో ఎస్సే పేపర్ అయిపోయింది. ఆ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చూసి నీకు కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ వచ్చేస్తుంది, ఎస్ ఐ హ్యావ్ రిటన్ వాట్ ఐఎమ్ థింకింగ్ టు రైట్. ఎందుకంటే ఇంకా నువ్వు ఏం చేయదు, జస్ట్ పేపర్ నింపాలి తర్వాత అంతే. ఆ 15 points or 20 points అది చూసుకొని ట్రై టు మేక్ ఎన్ అరేంజ్మెంట్. ఇంట్రడక్షన్ దీంతో స్టార్ట్ చేస్తున్నాను, ఈ అనెక్డోట్తో స్టార్ట్ చేసుకున్నాను. బాడీలో దీస్ 5 to 6 quotes or examples I am going to put in. Conclusion I am going to end it in such a way. Then how is it stopping you from writing an essay which is beautiful? You can all write a beautiful essay. ఈ ఎస్సే రైటింగ్ మనకేం దిస్ ఈస్ నాట్ టు జడ్జ్ అవర్ థింగ్ ఆర్ అది కాదు, కానీ యూ హ్యావ్ టు మేక్ షూర్ దట్ యు ఆర్ ఇంప్రెసింగ్ మన ఎవాల్యుయేటర్కి మన ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్ని జస్టిఫై చేస్తూ వీఆర్ గివింగ్ గుడ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ అండ్ ఒక డీసెంట్ ఎస్సే రాసినామని వీ హ్యావ్ టు రైట్ అన్ ఎస్సే, దట్స్ ఇట్. బట్ విత్ రిగరస్ ప్రాక్టీస్ అండ్ పుట్టింగ్ ద నంబర్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్, ఈ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ కానీ ఇవి కానీ ఒక్క దగ్గర పెట్టుకోవాలి. అండ్ యూజ్ యువర్ ఎథిక్స్ నాలెడ్జ్ ఇన్ ద ఎస్సే పేపర్ ఆల్వేస్. ఫిలాసఫికల్ ఎస్సేస్లో యువర్ ఎథిక్స్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ గో వండర్. అవి మంచిగా చాలా బాగా మీకు మార్క్స్ ఫెచ్ చేస్తాయి. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఎథిక్స్లో వీ ఆల్రెడీ 10 philosophers, 10 bureaucrats, 10 freedom fighters, 10 historians, 10 ఇట్లా పెట్టుకుని ఒక 50-60 చేస్తే అవే ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ మనం ఇక్కడ రాసేయచ్చు. దెర్ ఇస్ నో స్టాపింగ్ you from writing a good essay, but you have to practice it regularly. So whenever you are fed up with GS Mains answer writing thing, you can just pick up on essay and write whatever it is. Just start scribbling your paper. ఒక పేపర్ తీసుకొని ఇట్లా ఐడియా మొత్తం మీరు పారాగ్రాఫ్ వైడ్స్ రాయకుండా ట్రై టు లెర్న్ మేకింగ్ దట్ చాట్. నేను ఏదైతే ఆ 15-20 minutesలో యూ కెన్ మేక్ దట్ చాట్ అని చెప్పినో, యూ ట్రై టు లెర్న్ దట్ థింగ్ డ్యూరింగ్ ద ఎస్సే. It will help you wonders. Just normal day where you are fed up in writing GS answers, you can do this thing. It hardly takes like half an hour. You should all scribble your ideas ante. దీనికి ఒక ఏమంటారు మన ఇట్లా 2 pages ఫార్మాట్ ఏం లేదు, దీనికి ఏం లేదు కదా. You can all scribble on one white paper what to write, your thoughts on it, and you can quote the examples of legendary stories like Mahabharata, Ramayana. You can quote Gita also. I have written one wonderful quote from Bhagavad Gita which says yada yada hi dharmasya glanirbhavati bharata abhyudhanam adharmasya. A quote rashi I have substantiated my point. That's how quotes rashi, examples raste, it will impress the examiner in some or the other manner. So what doubts you have regarding this, you can now ask me. I think I have told you from the introduction, body, thesis, antithesis part of it and the conclusion, how to address it. Don't look at the number of words. It's 10 to 12 pages.
10 to 12 average pages which you can write in the essay. Those are must. 10 pages is the minimum that you should write. It's for around 1200 words, I think, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's 1000 to 1200 words. That's how you should write the essay paper. I think I'll move to the GS one if you're not having any doubts in the essay paper. Okay. Can you do it? GS1 paper పెట్టొస్తుందా నీకు? Ma'am, try to change this thing. This one. I am from an arts background. I don't know how to. I'm not familiar with too much of. Okay. Yeah. Okay, pen is okay. Pen is fine. Yeah. So I think if you are attempting this paper by seeing the first question, we are all happy. Discuss the salient features of Harappan architecture. We all know the answer of it. But that's what I'm saying. In mains, the art is to write 20 decent answers. You can write 1 to 3, maximum 3 exceptional answers for one question, but for 3 questions, but you cannot write 20 exceptional answers. So, what is better? Writing, ఇప్పుడు ఒక answer కి we are having around 2, like for 10 marker, we are having around 7 to 8 minutes of time on an average. If you write exceptional answer for one 10 marker, you might get the highest probability is you getting 6 marks for a 10 marker. Exceptional answers రాస్తే మీకు 6 మార్క్స్ వస్తాయి 10 కి. బట్ ఆ ఎక్సెప్షన్ రాయడానికి వీ ఆల్ నీడ్ ఎక్సెప్షనల్ పాయింట్స్. దానికి వీ టేక్ ఎక్స్ట్రా టైం. 8 minutes దగ్గర 12 minutes అయిందనుకో, 1 GS, half of the GS answer is gone. On the other next question, నీకు తెలియని క్వశ్చన్ కి you are automatically losing 2 to 3 marks mandatorily. That is why I always suggest attempting all the questions is every candidate's first priority to address the GS papers. Everyone should write every answer. Then only you can expect a call for the interview. Otherwise, you are not eligible to get a call for the interview. That is how practical it is. So, the second question that is asked, salient features of Harappa. Harappa, we all know we can write around 8 to 10 good points we can write in that 2 pages regarding Harappan architecture. What do we all know about Harappan architecture? Mohenjo-daro, Great Bath, that is all there. Grid pattern of the streets, good drainage system, these all we can write. But in such kind of questions, you need exceptional points. Konni out of the box think chesi raste, you will get that extra 1 mark. How to make that? So for this question, we are all on the same base level. Everyone is writing all the equal points. How to make it some better? You have to connect it with the current thing. You can write something which is new. A drainage system you can put it, and the drainage system was very well equipped with an inlet and outlet system, and you can write it, and you can quote in the example by saying how today's drainage system which we are following, for example like the Swachh Bharat system where we are following liquid management system which is there in the solid waste management system, you can write that we are taking some of that techniques and connecting it with Harappan architecture. Appadu kattina nunchi we are trying to connect with, and you can just write 3 to 4 points which makes your answer unique in an automatic way. Andaru every evaluator would expect you are writing Great Bath, Mohenjo-daro avandaru rasarani everyone knows, but you can still make it new thing by connecting it with today's kind of system which we are having. How did we take that
tenets of that their architecture system in today's system ani you can try to connect, which makes your answer unique. That's what I feel. Maybe I don't know if they give marks, but I feel that is some uniqueness that is required in writing mains answer. So next is Akbar's religious syncretism. So we all know, first thing, what are the key points, like 5 to 6 points you can write for this thing. He abolished the jizya tax which was there on the pilgrimage tax which was there, and he also released funds for Hindu temples also, for the maintenance of Hindu temples. Akbar was one of the very few kings who has done that. So he was a very tolerant when it comes towards religion. You can write that point. And he at the end, during his last stages, that Deen Ilahi was a religion. It was not a religion, it was a kind of thing which united people from all the sects, be it Hindus, Muslims, Christians, whatever who are there in his kingdom. They all come together to discuss their viewpoints. That's how his thing was there. The one more thing is he has encouraged, he has also accepted people coming from that these people who are coming from foreign countries like Portuguese. They wanted to build the churches, so he invited them, and he sought to know what is new. నా రిలీజన్లో లేని వీళ్ళ దగ్గర ఏముంది, what better are they telling about their religion. That what he was trying to do every time when they have that meeting or sitting between all the religious leaders. They all try to know. Ivanni Dishi, he put it in that Dini Ilahi, which is called as the universal religious syncretism concept of Akbar. You can write the such a way. So in such answer we cannot write anything out of the box. Manaku telishindi manam rayagalatam. So mediocre answer should justify this question. That's how it should go. So I told this about Chandela art form. I had no idea, like I accept that Kandariya Mahadeva temple, I had no idea, and that Vesara style of architecture which they are following, I had no idea what these kings have done, what they have done. So for such answers you can use some templates. Art and architecture ki you can make a template which says like a mnemonic kind of thing. Temples, monuments, artistic skills, they have given patronage to new kind of art forms. Every king does that, so it is common for all the kingdoms. You can be smart in such case and write answers for which you don't. But if you leave this question completely, that I don't know anything, you're automatically losing out the basic marks which are being given. 3-4 marks మొత్తానికే పోతాయి మీకు. నువ్వు అటో ఇటో సంథింగ్ ఇఫ్ యూ రైట్ అబౌట్ వేరియస్ ఆర్ట్ ఫార్మ్స్ ఆర్ లైక్ డాన్సింగ్, బీట్ పోయట్రీ, బీట్ singing or cultural practices which are embedded in the Chandela kingdom, you can write still decent 5 to 6 good points. But if you completely leave it, you are losing out on that 3-4 marks. That's how, that is the importance of attempting each and every question. Yeah. ikkadna ma'am ida. Yeah, I selected. So the next question is, how are climate change and sea level affecting? So in GS1, geography plays a crucial role. So no need of writing. Geography has around 6 to 7 questions. 6 to 7 is the least. If you combine with some sort of these disaster kind of questions which are coming, the sea level rise and climate change, your geography plays a very good impact in your GS1 paper. And the rest is the I think it's social justice. I think the other part which is very crucial, the history, art and culture, these are 1-2 questions which are coming up, but geography is your hit area. You are going to get 7 questions, 7-8 questions from that, and you have to use plenty of diagrams and make your answer justified. And ఈ diagrams వల్ల you can buy your time, extra time buy చేసి మీకు తెలియని ఆన్సర్స్ కి you have to take some extra time and you can still put some decent points. So how are climate change and sea level rise affecting the existence of many island nations? Before writing or starting to write any answer, first read the keywords of the question. Here the keyword is how, and discuss with examples. The keyword is how. It's not what or when. It's how. So they are only asking the analysis part. Etla effect aitadi. Sea change, climate change and sea level rise. These keywords only make you stand like right or outsmart the other candidates. First, so this is a 10 marker. This has 2 pages. You can simply write give an introduction about some island nation which has been recently affected by flooding, like all the island countries in the Caribbean islands. Be it, you can take that islands which were drowned, or you can use that examples like in the Philippines, some countries have are being drowned due to sea level rise, and how some islands got disappeared with that thing. So you can simply divide this answer into 2 parts. Climate change is the first part and sea level rise is the second part. Both are interconnected. Climate change and sea level rise are interconnected, but you can divide it into 2 parts. First, climate change or etlaitundi. What is climate change? Climate change vara the temperatures are rising, the global warming is increasing. That's how climate change is happening, and we are having weather patterns like El Nino, La Nina. You can write, and you can write the Enzo northern oscillation kind of thing, and you can write the Indian perspective also. What is it called? The Indian monsoon when it gets weaker. The other concept which is there. Sorry, I'm unable to. What? Someone else. The Indian Ocean currents. What are those called? We are having that effect, right? El Nino, La Nina is the Pacific Ocean and that thing, and the Indian Ocean thing which you are facing. Yeah, IOD, positive Indian Ocean dipole and negative Indian Ocean. You can write that thing also. Discuss with examples. You can give a ample examples like which is happening in main Indian cities. You can compare. You can compare them also. How cities like Hyderabad and Bombay are getting flooded in a dash of rain. We are all stuck in traffic. I think last time here also we had humongous rain and all the roads got flooded. The next question is again coming from geography. What are the non-farm primary activities? How are these activities related to physiographic features in India? Discuss with suitable examples. So what does come under primary sector? There are agriculture, allied activities and all these things which are coming. The direct question is it is on minerals. Why? Non-farm. Primary activities we are having agriculture and allied activities plus mining. What are non-farm? Only mining is non-farm, because allied activities also still are happening around or somewhere around the farm. How are these activities related to physiographic features? That's why physiographic features means like be it the plains, mountains, how are these connected, and how are the mineral resources are distributed in India. That's how it is connected. Because like for example, we are finding all the petroleum or the oil gas resources during the near the river basins of our country, like Krishna Godavari basin in the Assam belt. We are having the Hooghly region where we are finding few things, and the Bombay port. So those are connected with India's physiographic region, and discuss with suitable examples. You can write mining. Mining though you can take different examples. One, you can take oil and natural gas. You can take coal. You can take petroleum. Petroleum is all this. You can take coal. You can take the iron ore deposits which are distributed. That's how you can do this question. So the thing is, that's what I'm again repeatedly what I am saying is, you just read the question and you just use it itself as a side heading. Explain briefly the ecological and economic benefits of solar energy generation with suitable examples. Every question examples are very important. Every question you have to write 4 to 5 examples. You can only remember examples with batti kodtane examples gurtuntayi. You cannot randomly write the examples. So people who are saying logical ga rayandi, analytical ga alochinchi rayandi anedi kuda it's a myth. You have to make use of both knowledge and koncham batti kuda kottali. Examples etla gurtu pettukuntam mari. Every answer, for example, in every question which I have read, they are asking with suitable examples. At least 4 examples I have to write. It makes around 50 examples for all the questions in one paper. How will I remember all the examples without doing that thing. నేను లాజికల్ అనాలిసిస్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ రాయలేను కదా, బికాజ్ ఐఎమ్ హ్యావింగ్ ఓన్లీ 3.5 minutes to fill one side of the paper, and I have to make sure that I am putting 2 examples in that. That is why break the myths. UPSC is all about breaking the myths only. Whoever is telling something, either it has worked for him, నాకు ఇది వర్క్ అయింది కాబట్టి ఐఎమ్ ట్రైంగ్ టు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ ఇట్ టు యూ. అట్లా కొన్ని మీకు వర్క్ అయ్యే, మీరు మెయిన్స్ రాసిన మీకు వర్క్ అవుతాయి, బట్ మేక్ షూర్ దోస్ ఆర్ వర్కింగ్. ద ఫస్ట్ థింగ్ యూ షుడ్ డూ ఈస్ రైటింగ్ ఆల్ ద క్వశ్చన్స్ అండ్ అటెంప్టింగ్ ఇట్. You can simply divide this answer into 2 parts again. You can give an introduction. First part you can give an introduction. Then again solar energy, for example, the prime scheme which is going on is the Kusum scheme, I think, or the you can give this free solar energy what is PM Suryagar of the Bijli Yojana, if I am not wrong. You can give that example as an introduction which you can tell, or you can give the one of the Panchamrit goals which is aligning, which is heavily dependent on the solar energy process. You can divide into ecological examples. Ecological benefits em untai solar energy generation to, we all know. There is no waste that is being released. Yeah, and poisonous gases like sulfur dioxide, which are coming through the normal coal-based electric power generation plants, are not coming here. These we all know. You can give examples like Badla project in Rajasthan which was made, and Telangana there was the floating solar park which was one of the it is in Pulampalli or somewhere, I think. It was one of the largest floating solar power plant which was built, where they are trying to save the river from excessive drying as well as using that power to conserve. If you write that example, why won't he give the marks, you can tell me. But the thing is, you have to remember those examples with repeated revision. That's why your mains note should always be less than 40 to 50 pages. ఆ చదివిన దాన్నే రిపీటెడ్గా చదవాలి. You should not read like around 100 to 150 pages, which is hard to revise. It should be between 40 to 50 pages, and you should read it in like 2-3 hours. You have to finish one revision. How it should be concise and limited. So this is how GS1 paper goes. It is divided into 4 sub themes, I think. It is art and architecture, world history, geography. Geography is very important. Geography has around 7 questions coming up from the part. And one more thing is the Indian it is Indian society, it is social justice, I believe. It is social justice. Yeah, it is social justice. The social GS2 has Indian society. GS2 has social justice, and this one has Indian society. I think you should study both these subjects of GS1 and GS2 on a together. Social justice and Indian society is always linked with each other. Indian society lo we are having all these divisions, different religions, different caste, different creeds and tribal people. It all has the Indian society. So ఇప్పుడు మీకు ఇండియన్ సొసైటీ తెలియకుండా you cannot bring social justice to all these downtrodden and marginalized population. So you have to study both these together. Indian society and social justice you have to always study together. It gives you a mixed approach. What are the steps that are required to uplift the scheduled tribe or the nomadic tribes in this country? You should know first what are the patterns that exist in the scheduled tribe communities that exist in our country. You have to understand the PVTGs, for example, particularly vulnerable groups. You have to understand why their behavior is so not welcoming, and why they are not easily mixed with the other society. Adardhamainappudu only you can bring justice to them. Why, how to develop them, how to bring the change అనేది ఈ సొసైటీలో అర్థమైతే. సో ఆల్వేస్ స్టడీ బోత్ ఆఫ్ దీస్ థింగ్స్. That's why I don't remember which paper part. That is the only thing, but I do remember it, that
either this is in Indian society or that is in GS2 or GS1. That's how it goes. And society and geography are must hit parts. These two parts you have to do well, because society nunchi around 4 to 5 questions are coming, and from geography there are 7 to 8 questions coming. So here around you are covering 10 to 12 questions here. E2 hit areas GS1 ki very important. But world history ki you have to study a lot of content, but there is only one question that is coming. I spent very less time on, for example, I have graduated from history. Even I could not write so much during what to write in this question, because it's for 250 marks. The French Revolution has enduring relevance to the contemporary world. I think that's a very you need to know particular incidents, but I don't even remember what I have written to that question. I think we all write the similar examples of what happened in the French Revolution. For example, you can write one thing is the philosophers have contributed them before the French Revolution was reaching its peak. The philosophers have come up from the French society questioning the aristocrats and the king family, why we should follow yours law. The law should emanate from the people, and it should be the people's mandate. And the first basis for democracy also was discussed from the French Revolution tenets. So that is one point you can put in the French Revolution aspect. Always be smart. ఎక్కడి నుంచి ఎక్కువ క్వశ్చన్స్ వస్తున్నాయో పే యువర్ టైమ్ ఆల్సో ఆన్ దట్ థింగ్ మోర్. I hope you understand it, because we are not here to gain knowledge, we are here to make appear somehow in the list. Your time should be equivalent and directly proportional to the number of questions that are appearing. ఇప్పుడు జిఎస్లో ఇప్పుడు GS1లో సొసైటీ జాగ్రఫీ 10 క్వశ్చన్స్ వస్తున్నాయంటే 50% ఆఫ్ యువర్ టైమ్, 50 to 60% of your time should be spent on those two subjects only while doing revision for GS1. That's how you should be smart. And more doubts on any GS1 paper, GS1 you can ask questions, because it's a very vast paper as compared with other GS paper, and it is very tough to revise also, because it's not limited to 40-50 pages. The other subjects are, you can cut them down or you can bring their size down, but GS1 is very vast. Art and architecture of numerous kingdoms, you can write any kingdom in India, they can ask the art and architecture. And world history, to answer like 1-2 questions you have to revise all the world history starting from around 1600s to why industrial revolution happened, beat the French Revolution, the world wars, and all things you have to cover, but there is only one question. So what you will do, you will be smart and you will spend very less time on studying world history. Are you getting me? Be smart and revise that part where you can score good, where most of the questions are coming from. See, this question is expected in geography every year. Distribution of offshore oil resources. One time it is onshore, it is offshore, or it is coal reserves, or it is petroleum and natural gas reserves. One year it is asked as oil, the next year it is asked as petroleum. Somehow that question is always appearing in the exam. You can only identify this thing with the PYQs. Always remember, while doing attempting the questions or practicing mock exams, always write PYQs. If you write all PYQs, you can write any mains answer with that thing. So, and why I am telling the use of diagrams is very important here. For a question like this, distribution of offshore oil resources of the world, you can simply draw a world map and you can just simply put some corners of the world. On the western shores you can find, on the offshore oil reserves, mostly on the western continents or the western margins, you can find the oil and gas resources. So if you know that one thing, you can draw these 7 continents which represents, and you can just make a star mark and you can show that oil reserves are there on the western margin of the continents. It still is a very decent example and gives an impression to the evaluator that you are having good knowledge on that thing. How are they different from the onshore occurrences of oil reserves? Always break the question into parts. The first part you answer it, this is a 15 marker, so you have to write 3 pages. Introduction,
ఇంట్రొడక్షన్ రాయాలి, తర్వాత ఈ పార్ట్ని ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసి యూ హ్యావ్ టు గివ్ ఎ కన్క్లూజన్. సో ఫస్ట్ పార్ట్ 1 page, సెకండ్ పార్ట్ 1 page, ఇంట్రొడక్షన్ కన్క్లూజన్ హాఫ్ పేజ్లో యూ హ్యావ్ టు ఫినిష్ ఇట్. దట్స్ హౌ యూ షుడ్ అడ్జస్ట్ ఇట్. రీడ్ ద క్వశ్చన్ అండ్ అనలైజ్ హౌ. ఓకే 15 మార్కర్ ఉందంటే 3 pages ఉంది, అట్లా నేను డివైడ్ చేసుకోవాలి పార్ట్స్ ఆఫ్ ద క్వశ్చన్ అని మీకు అర్థం కావాలి. సో దట్స్ హౌ యూ షుడ్ డూ ఇట్. GS1. I think you can ask doubts. I think is it boring? I think it's a post lunch session. I think I hope you all are not sleepy. You can ask more questions from GS1, how to attempt questions, or because it's a very vast subject and people find GS1 as very less scoring also. It is one of the GS2, GS4 to compare cheskunte GS1 is given less scores always, because it's a vast subject to cover upon.